spot that has plenty of sun. The sun is in the background, so I'll choose a spot right here in front of us. So next I'm marking off where I want to dig with these sticks, and you could use rope and stakes or whatever, but basically you want to give yourself an extra 6 inches on either side, or so. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to be able to dig in and set your cold frame without it being a perfect fit, and then we'll fill the dirt in the side. So my cold frame measures 4 feet on the length, so I'm making mine 5 feet. My pit 5 feet by 4 feet, since the cold frame is actually 3 feet this way. So now I'm just clearing the area of large debris and pine needles. If we had any grass, you could dig that up too. You can replant it if you choose, and it's part of your lawn if you want grass. Make sure you have a shovel that's the correct height for you. So if you have a shovel that's the wrong height, it'll really be bad on your back later on. And now we dig. So I'm digging my trench about a shovel spade deep, and this will give enough room for the roots to grow. Vegetable roots generally only go down about 6 to 8 inches, so this should be fine. And the exception to that would be certain root vegetables, like carrots. Some of them can go deeper. But 6 to 8 inches should be fine, so about a shovel spade. And I'm just going to dig the rest of this trench out about the same depth, so that everything will be level. I'm separating regular dirt from the rocks as I go, because I'm going to use the rocks to actually insulate the sides, seeing as that the rocks will heat up during the daytime. So depending on what type of soil you have, you may pull out some pretty big rocks. And I pulled some out over here, but then I came across one rock that was actually just far too large to remove. I tried coming at it from different angles, but I decided that this rock isn't going anywhere. So what I'm going to do is actually just move where I'm putting my pit. So I'm going to move this boundary a little bit forward to avoid the rock entirely. So I have this all moved back and remeasured, and I'm just going to fill in the hole. So now the trench is dug. It's all about the same depth. The shovel spade. Over here. And over here. So now I'm going to use a pitchfork or manure fork to loosen the soil a little bit. And this process, basically just trying to loosen the soil. So, just kind of digging the fork down a bit, pushing in with your foot, and loosening. Like it'll need to be a little bit bigger. So now I've set the cold frame in and leveled it out, and you want to make sure that the window is still fitting, because sometimes as you do this, the frame can get a little bit off-centered and the window doesn't fit quite right. So now that I see the window sides with dirt, and then we will work on the soil mix after that. As you fill in the sides, you'll want to compact it just by stepping on it, so that it's nice and firm and level with the ground around it. Now that this is all filled in on the sides, the first order of business will be to add some rocks to the bottom, and I'll just put one layer of rocks all the way through the bottom of this so that it will help with the drainage. Next, I'm going to add some aged compost. So I have a compost heap here, and I basically just dig around it in the darker patches of soil that have been processed over time by worms and other decomposers. So I have a thin layer of rocks on the bottom, and I'm just going to add 1 part aged compost and 2 parts regular soil that has been dug out from the pit. This particular soil is pretty heavy in clay. Well, it's real heavy in clay, but yeah, as you can see, it's not very soft, so I'm going to add some gypsum, which will soften the soil. The recommended amount of gypsum is about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds per 10 square feet of garden bed. So for my 12 square feet, I am going to use about 1.75 pounds, and that looks about like this. Dry weight it out. In this 6-inch pot, it goes down to a depth of about 2 inches. You may also want to add some organic fertilizer, and the amount to add varies based on the type you get and whether the bed is new or existing, so just be sure to read the back and make your calculations. Other soil additives include washed sand, which you can add for bettering your drainage, perlite, which is another drainage helper, and vermiculite, which helps with moisture retention. So you can add these things if you want, but I generally only add them to container plants because they're kind of expensive, but it's your choice. Anyhow, we have the soil mixture now, and as you can see, the lid is being held up by just a notched stick that has a notch in it here, and at the bottom to make sure this doesn't slip. And that's about it. It's ready for planting.